Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Stevie Aisha Mills. I am the host of the Conversation with Stevie. Super excited to be back for another episode. This is the place where we uncover the why behind the what of what people do. I am super excited today because we have an extra special guest. Her name is Gwen. Hello, Gwen. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Stevie?
Doing good. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Conversation with Stevie. And the first question I have for you is, I love it when people introduce themselves. I believe that the best introduction you can ever do is of yourself. So please do introduce yourself to all of us.
All right. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Yeah, I am Gwen Davis-Yancey. I'm an attorney. I'm a Mindshift generational wealth strategist. And what I do is I help particularly strong women shift their mindsets, turn self-doubt into the confidence, to really take what they've always wanted to do and turn it into a course or a business that builds wealth, particularly generational wealth. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I practice law for over 26 years. I'm part-time on the bench, so I make decisions that affect families, which really coincides with everything that God purposed me to do. So it's pretty exciting.
That is incredible. That is incredible. And I love that you talked about generational wealth, because that is something that we definitely need to have brought to the forefront more. And so with that, what has you so passionate about generational wealth and helping families?
Well, particularly, I'm African American, and between my own personal experiences as well as my professional experiences, I've seen that our culture, my culture, has a gap when it comes to not just financial wealth, but generational wealth, which is multidimensional. Generational wealth it includes money, but it's not just money. And so when you think about other cultures that maybe there's a third generation of attorneys, third generation of doctors, third generation of teachers, third generation of trust fund, babies, if you will, it's clear that we're not passing down knowledge. We're not passing down secrets. We're keeping too many secrets that cause generation after generation to make and duplicate mistakes. And we're not our legacies up for financial wealth so that each generation isn't put in the position to have to work from scratch. You know what I mean? Start from scratch. Even when it comes to the money part, there's such a position of fear when it comes to insurance. I do estate planning and, planning things out. And, there's such a fear of that it ends up many times that people are doing GoFundMe accounts to bury somebody. And it's not just for people that do not have the money, that did not have the money, that could have planned ahead. So it's a mindset. It's a mindset that has to change, and as well as the mindset of understanding that we all have a purpose, and we all have, I believe, a divine purpose, and that divine purpose lays the foundation for the generational wealth that each of us has been put in the position by God to be able to develop and pass that entrepreneurial spirit down, that entrepreneurial strategies down. So just seeing the struggle, my personal struggle, and the struggle in my clients, the struggle, I've taught law school, estates and trusts. I've seen the struggle there. I've seen the struggle being on the bench, and it's just time to do a change, and for people to understand that wealth is not just money, so that we're not just chasing the money, because when you're chasing your purpose and you catch it, the money will follow you and chase you down.
I love that. And I always love speaking to Black women who are lawyers because my aunt was the dean of the law school at North Carolina Central before she passed. So I understand, the journey of a Black woman who is a lawyer, and I understand the numbers in which that comes through, that journey of being somebody who is able to identify with all sides of it, because you're able to not only see it culturally, but you're also able to see it as far as justice is concerned. And I love the fact that you've taken that and you've really, really put it in perspective for us as Black people, because a lot of times we don't have the knowledge that we need to have in certain areas. So I would love for you to talk more about what it's meant to you to be a Black woman inside of the legal system.
That's a really interesting question, because that question and the answer to that question is also really correlated to what I do in coaching outside of my law practice. I actually went to law school after going back to school. I went through a divorce. I had 4 kids, so I went back to school, got my undergrad, which actually is in biology and chemistry and math, because I used to always be into science. Worked a bit on my master's and decided to go to law school because I really, had some great ideas of being able to change the educational system, which is a whole different conversation. But I found that the insecurities that I had developed growing up does not go away when you get additional degrees. And when you have those insecurities, it can follow you until you really shift, until you really identify. And so I found that, I've kind of coined the phrase, I was a crusher in the courtroom but felt crushed outside of the courtroom, because people many times think that if you get those additional degrees, it's going to solve the problem, and it may not solve the problem. It typically doesn't. And so my aggressive personality is what allowed me to be a crusher, because in the courtroom, because I kind of had the reputation that you didn't want to be on the other side of me in the courtroom. But I know that there were personal intimidations because of my insecurity when it came to maybe dealing with someone that went to certain schools, or dealing with someone not so much of a different race, but a different gender. I realized, as I've reflected back over my career, that I had a different level of preparation or anxiety, if you will, when I was dealing with a male opponent than a female opponent, And a lot of that has to do with how we're raised to feel about ourselves as women, how we're raised to feel, and not necessarily our parents, but our whole experiences, and how that is as Black women, So there was a lot that I had to shift so that when I walked into the courtroom, when I walked into a networking room or whatever the case may be, I'm Gwendolyn Davis-Yancey, and God has given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter who else is on the other side of the conversation. So yes, it can be a journey.
Wow. I love this. I love this conversation, and I love the fact that it definitely is bringing out a lot of different points to help stretch our minds and to think about different things, especially as Black women, because that is our journey. It's such a robust journey, especially when you're talking about higher education and still, processing being a woman at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I want to also ask you, this is a question I ask everyone who comes to have a conversation with me, and as we begin to wind up our time, it literally is a fill-in-the-blank question. So the question is, or the statement, I should say, is, Dr. Stevie, we cannot leave this conversation today without people knowing, and then you fill in the blank.
Without people knowing that they have a divine purpose that can literally build profitable generational wealth. I'm going to drop the mic on that one. I mean, it's so people just don't realize how much power they have, and it's, you know, it took me a while. You know, it took me a while in several degrees, but it's literally sitting in our laps, and we don't realize it. And that's one of the things that the gifts that God has given me to bring that out. And once you bring it out, you can turn. You know how when you're talking to somebody, I know with all your expertise, before you were really capitalizing on it from a financial standpoint, where I'm sure you were giving advice to people and they would come to you for certain kinds of things. Well, we don't capitalize on that because that has to do with what our passions are. People can see it and sometimes we can't. So
yeah,
that's part of the foundation of our generational wealth.
Absolutely, and it drives me to think about, you know, even culturally in the Black families, like our grandmothers and aunties and mothers who can cook and have the best recipe, but they do it because they love it. They don't do it and take it, you know, like our counterparts, like Mrs. Field, take it and put it inside of a store, but they'll make it for their family. So yes, that definitely is reminding me of that, because we have so much wealth. God has gifted us with so many different things. I call it our it factor, and we definitely can make money from it. And so I want you to give us your contact information, because I know people are going to want to continue the conversation with you. So please do give us the ways we can connect with you.
Awesome. People can connect with me. I have a Facebook group called Master Your Mindsets, Confidence, Clarity, and Wealth with Gwen Davis-Yancey. They can connect with me through my Facebook group. They can also send me a friend request. They can also connect with me on Instagram, Mindshift with Gwen Davis-Yancey. And Yancey in my family is Y-A-N-C-E-Y. A lot of Yanceys, it's Y-A-N-C-Y. I literally have offices, brick and mortar offices, and my office number is 248-358-6920, and people can email me. They can email me at gdy@davisyancey.com. So awesome. Yeah, I look forward to hearing from people and connecting with people on social media. And I actually am launching a Mindshift, I call it Mindshift AHA Hub, AHA for Ambitious High Achiever. And people will be able to, we'll have monthly virtual trainings. People will even be able to, once they develop their profitable course, they'll be able to have their course offered on the Hub as well, because we've got to collaborate. We've got to build empires together.
Amen. Take it back to the tribe. That tribal thing.
Absolutely.
Is what we need to get back to, because that was something. And so thank you so much, Gwen, for coming to have the conversation with me. We really appreciate your wisdom and what you bring to the table. It's been amazing to have that conversation. So you are appreciated.
I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate that we were able to connect on social media, on Clubhouse, and so I jumped right on the opportunity to be able to talk with you. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yay, I love Clubhouse. So everybody, we have definitely had a great conversation today. Y'all go ahead and connect with Gwen. She has so much knowledge. And just speaking about the cultural experience and just the wealth experience. We all need to be having this conversation. So y'all go ahead and connect with her. She gave you all types of contact information for you to get. And so I am Dr. Stevie Aisha Mills. If you want to connect with me, you just need to know how to spell my first name correctly so that you can go to workwithstevie.com, workwithstevie.com, STEVII, and I end everything that I do by saying the same thing. I want you to make it a great day. Don't have a great day. Make it a great day. Why? Because you, and yes, all of y'all connected to the conversation with Stevie too have the power to do so. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you at the next conversation. Bye.
Bye.